Chapter 3, Pure Devotional Service, A Change in the Heart, Canto 2. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Etannigaditam Prushtavan Yadbhavan Mama Nunam Yan Mriyamanayam Mananam Nunam Yan Mriyamananam Manusheshu Manishinam. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam etannigaditam Prushtavan yadbhavan mama Nunamyan mriyamananam Manusheshu manishinam. Sukadeva Goswami say, Evam etat nigaditam. So you asked me, you inquired to me and I have answered. What did you inquire? Bhavan, yourself. What did you inquire? Unto whom? Mama, unto me. Nunam, of the king. Yat mriyamananam. At the threshold of death. Manusheshu manishinam. Manusheshu. Among the human beings. Manishinam. Of the intelligent men. You inquire to me what should be the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death. That was the question asked by Sukadeva Goswami. So answering to that, many verses in the second chapter we find the answer has been given by Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami said that I have answered to you the question you have asked. What should be the duty of a intelligent man? Now, intelligent man, when he comes to know that now my death is near, what should he do? What should be the duty? Antakalaha. Khatwang Rishis, Khatwang Muni's also example has been given. If you see the first chapter, second canto, first chapter, Khatwang Rishi, then Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard. First verses, if you see. Description of the holy name. You see, first 9 verses, if you see. It has been given here. What should be done? Okay. So I have answered you. Okay. Chaitanya Prabhu, read Kanaganga Chaitanya Prabhu. Please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I have Hindi book today actually. I don't have English
Hindi
book.
Okay. Venkatesh Chakkan Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Shri Shukvacha Evam etat nigaditam Prushtavan yad bhavan mama Nunam yan mriyamana nam manusheshu manishinam. Translation. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. Purport. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. In human society all over the world, there are millions and billions of men and women. And among us, of all of them are less intelligent because they have a little knowledge of spirit soul. Almost all of them have a wrong conception of life, for they identify themselves with the gross and subtle material bodies, which they are not. In fact, they may be situated in different high and low position in the estimation of human society. But one should know definitely that unless our inquire about his own self beyond the body and the mind, all his activities in human life are total failures. Therefore, out of thousands and thousands of men, one may inquire about his spirit self and thus consult the revealed scripture like Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. But in spite of reading and hearing such scriptures, unless one is in touch with the realized spiritual master, he cannot actually realize the real nature of self, etc. And out of thousands and hundreds of thousands of men, someone may know what Lord Krishna is in fact. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 20.122 to 123, it is said that the Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, prepared the Vedic literatures in the incarnation of Vyasadeva for reading by the intelligent class of men in a human society which is almost totally forgetful of the genuine relation with Krishna. So even such an intelligent class of men may be forgetful in their relation with the Lord. The whole Bhakti Yoga process is therefore a revival of the lost relation. So this revival is possible in human form of life, which is obtained only out of the evolutionary cycle of 84 lakh species of life. The intelligent class of human being must take a serious note of this opportunity. Not all human beings are intelligent, so the importance of human life is not always understood. So therefore, Manishina meaning thoughtful is particularly used here. A Manishinam person like Maharaj Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna and fully engage himself in the devotional service, hearing, chanting, etc., of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hari Kathamritam. So this action is specifically recommended when one is preparing for death. Hare Krishna.
First Canto, 19th chapter, 36th verse. So 37th verse. Clear question has been asked: what to do at the time of death? An intelligent person only can ask this question. So answering to that, first chapter, second chapter, Sukadeva Goswami has answered in a very elaborate way. Next. Second verse to seventh verse has been given. We'll do one by one. Brahma varchasa kamastu yajeta brahmana patim indram indriha kamastu praja kahma prajapatin. Brahma varchasa kamastu yajeta brahmana patim indram indriya kamastu indram indriyam kamastu praja kama prajapati. Brahma varchasa kamastu yajetaha brahmana patim. Okay, first we'll see word to word. Brahma, the absolute. Varchasaha, effulgent. Kamastu, one who desires in that way. Yajetaha, do worship. Brahmana, of the Vedas. Patim, the master. Indram, the king of heaven. Indriha kamastu. But one who desires strong sense organs. Praja kama, one who desires many offspring. Prajapatis. Yanti devavata devan, pitruyanti pitruvata. You have that verse in Bhagavad Gita. Similar type it is. Whoever desires knowledge of Brahman should worship, or whoever desires knowledge of Brahma, it is. It's not Brahman, it's Brahma. Whoever desires knowledge of Brahma should worship Vedas. Whoever desires strong senses or sense gratifications should worship Indra. Then only they can go to Swarga Loka. Whoever desires progeny should worship Prajapati such as Daksha. Now, what are the activities of those who are less intelligent? That has been given. Intelligent people, okay, they are worshipping Lord. They know that they should worship God. What about less intelligent people? What they do? What are their activities? That has been given. So this section can be said to be supplied as an explanation of who should be worshipped by first showing the deities whom the foolish worship. Kamaistasya rutagyana prapadyante anya devataha. Whose intelligence is stolen, what they do? Who they worship. So this description continues until verse 9. Brahmanaha Patim refers to the master of the Vedas, that is Brahma. Prajapatis are the sons of Brahma, such as Daksha. Okay, next verse. Then we'll take all together. Devim Mayam tu Shri Kamas Tejas Kamo Vibhavasum Vasu Kamo Vasul Rudran Virya Kamo Thaviryavan. Devim Mayam tu Shri Kamas Tejas Kamo Vibhavasum Vasu Kamo Vasul Rudran Virya Kamo Thaviryavan. Next verse. Devi, the goddess, Maya, unto the mistress of the material world, to Shri Kamaha, one who desires beauty, Tejaha, power, Kamaha, one whose soul desires, Vibhavasum, the fire god, Vasukamaha, one who wants the demigods. Ataha Viryavan, the most powerful. Wait. Atha Viryavan, the most powerful. So till here this verse ends. The person who desires prosperity, they should worship God. Person who desires energy, they should. Person who desires wealth should worship Ashtavasus. And the strong person desiring virility should worship or Virya Kamaha. Should worship the Rudras. Means who desire abundant semen to enjoy with many women. Is one should worship. So whom to worship? Purpose of worshipping. Next. Annadya kamas tvaditam. Annadya kamas tvaditim. Swarga kamodhite sutan. Vishwan devan rajya kamaha. Sadhyan samsadhako visham. Sadhyan samsadhako visham. Okay. Annad. Annad, grains. Kamaha, one who desires grains, they should worship Aditi, mother of demigods. Swarga Kama, one who wants to go to Swarga, they should worship sons of Aditi. Vishwan, Devan, Vishwadevaha, demigods. Rajya Kamaha, one who is hankering for kingdom should worship Vishwa Deva. Rajya Kamaha. Sadhyan samsadhako visham. The sadhya demigods, samsadhakaha. What they want to fulfill visham. Visham means mercantile community. The person in agriculture and trade should worship sadhyas. Annadyam means to feed others or to eat. Aditya's sons are 12 Adityas. 12 Adityas. So worship, who wants to worship Swarga, they should worship her son 12 Adityas. Visham samsadhakaha, those engaged in agriculture and trading. If you remember, these 12 Adityas were worshipped by the gopis. When Krishna came out of the Yamuna river after killing Kaliya, he caught cold. So these 12 Adityas were worshipped in Radha Madan Mohan temple. In this way, the 12 Adityas, they gave heat to Krishna. So gopis are worshipping, but for the purpose of serving Krishna. Here, the 12 Adityas are worshipped for desiring a person, the foolish person, he wants to go to Swarga. That's why he's worshipping. Okay, next. Ayushya kamo shvinau devau पुष्टिकाम इलाम यजेत प्रतिष्ठा काम पुरुषो रोदसी लोकमातरौ आयुष्कामोऽश्विनौ देवौ पुष्टिकाम इलाम यजेत प्रतिष्ठा काम पुरुषो रोदसी लोकमातरौ कामः declaring long life. Then Ashwini Kumar. We have 7 Munis Leela where Ashwini Kumar comes and blesses person with good health, long life. Seeing the austerities because the princess should worship Ashwini Kumar. They are the 2 demigods. Pushtikamaha, strong, well-built body. Then they should worship Ilam, earth. Ilam, Yajeta, they should worship Bhuma Devi. If they want strong, built body. Pratisthakamaha, if they want good fame, stability in a post. Purushaha Rodasi. Purushaha Rodasi. Purushaha Rodasi Lokamatraha. Should worship the heaven and earth. Rodasi means heaven and earth, which support the world. That is how they can be stable in their position. They should worship the heaven, they should worship the earth. Okay, next verse. Rupabhikamo gandharvan srikamopsara purvashim adhipatyah kama sarvesham yajeta paramishtinam. Rupabhikamo gandharvan srikamopsara urvashim adhipatyah kama sarvesham yajeta paramishtinam. Rupa, beauty. Abhikamaha. If he has a desire to be very beautiful, Rupa Abhikamaha, then they should worship Gandharvas. Gandharvan, they are very, very beautiful. They are expert in singing also. Then they should worship Gandharvas. Strikamaha, one who desires a very good wife. Apsarha Urvasim, then they should worship Apsaras and Urvashi. Then Adhipatyaha Kamaha, one who desires to dominate others. I think in Square many people have done this. No, not Dasanudas, Bosanubas. Adhipatya Kamaha Sarvesham Yajeta Parameshtinam. Brahma, they should worship Brahma. They only can have controlling tendency. Okay. Parameshtinam. The next. Yagyam Yajet Yashaskama Koshaka. One minute. Let us go to the previous verse. We are coming from which Sampradaya? Brahma Madhva Chaudhya Sampradaya. Automatically we have worship Brahma. That is why dominating tendency is there. True. Yagyam Yajet Yashaskama Koshakama Prachetasam Vidya Kamastu Girisham Dampatyartham Umam Satim Yagyam Yajeta Yashaskama. Yagyam refers to Krishna. Yagyat Sarvano Netralokoyam Karmabandham. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He must be worshipped. Yashah Kama, if he has to become famous. Kosha Kama, if he wants a good bank balance. If you want a good bank balance, then Kosha Kama Chetasam, then he should worship Varuna, water god. he should worship Varuna. Vidya Kamaha, if he wants good education. Girisham, he should worship Lord Shiva. Dampyatyarthaha, Dampatyarthaha. If there should be an affectionate relationship between Dampati means husband and wife, then Umam Sati, the chaste wife of Lord Shiva known as Uma. One should worship Uma. Then husband-wife relationship will be nice. They're not worshipping, that is why husband and wife, they fight with each other. For every small thing, there's a fight. So in this way, whom to worship for what purpose? Okay. All verses second husband. Then all the verses, all Raksha Mataji also will read. All of you read all the verses. It is by reading these verses, whatever desires are there, not there also not a problem. Read. And then the paragraph will be read by Gyandi Prabhu. Translation and perfect Gyandi Prabhu. Okay, Vrindavanila Mataji, read all the verses.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Brahmavarchasa kamastu yajeta brahmadaha patyam. Indram indriya kamastu praja kamah prajapati. Devim mayam tu shri kamas tejas kamo vibhavasam. Vasukamo vasun rudran virya kamo thaviryavan. Annadya kamastva aditim swarga kamo adite sutan. Vishwana devana rajya kamaha sadhyan samsadhako visham. Ayus kamo ashvine devo pushtikama ilam yaje. Pratishtha kamaha purusho rodasi lokamataro. Rupabhikamo gandharvan stri kamo apsara urvashin. Adhipatyah kamah sarvesham yajeta parameshtinam. Yagyam yajeda yashas kamah kosha kamah prachetasam. Vidya kamastu girisham dampatyartha umam sate. I should continue with the translation, Mataji.
Now let the verse over, then you can read the translation. Prabhuji can read the purport. Okay, Aruna Mataji, read. Aruna, you do one thing. 2, 3, 4, you read. 5, 6, 7, Raksha will read.
2, 3, 4. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Brahma varchasa kamastu yajeta brahmana patim. Indramindriya kamastu praja kama prajapatin. Devi mayam tu shri kamas tejas kamo vibhavasum. Vasukamo vasun rudran virya kamo tha viryavan. Annadya kamastvaditim sarva kamo dite sutan. Vishwan devan rajya kamaha sadhyan samsadako visham. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Ayush kamo ashvino devo pushti kamo.
Ayush kamo shvinau devo.
Ayush kamo shvino devo pushti kama ilam yajet. Pratishtha kama purusho rodasi lokamataro. Rupabhikamo gandharvan Trikamoktara Urvisham Urvashim Adhipatyakama Sarvesham Yajeta Parameshtinam Yajnam Yajeda Yashaskama Koshakama Prachetasam Vidyakama Stugirisham Dampatyartha Umam Satim. Hare Krishna.
Read translation. Vrindavanila Mataji, read.
One who desires to be absorbed in the impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence should worship the master of the Vedas, Lord Brahma or Brahaspati, the learned priest. One who desires powerful sex should worship the heavenly king Indra, and one who desires good progeny should worship the great progenitors called the Prajapatis. One who desires good fortune should worship Durga Devi, the superintendent of the material world. One desiring to be very powerful should worship fire, and one who aspires only after money should worship the Vasus. One should worship the Rudra incarnations of Lord Shiva if he wants to be a great hero. One who wants a large stock of grains should worship Aditi. One who desires to attain the heavenly planets should worship the sons of Aditi. One who desires a worldly kingdom should worship Vishwadev, and one who wants to be popular with general mass of population should worship the Sadhya demigod. One who desires a long span of life should worship the demigods known as Ashwini Kumaras, and a person desiring a strongly built body should worship the earth. One who desires stability in his post should worship the horizon and the earth combined. One who desires to be beautiful should worship the beautiful residents of the Gandharva planet. And one who desires a good wife should worship the Apsaras and the Urvashi, society girls of the heavenly kingdom. One who desires domination over others should worship Lord Brahma, the head of the universe. One who desires tangible fame should worship the personality of Godhead. And one who desires a good bank balance should worship the demigod Varuna. If one desires to be a greatly learned man, he should worship Lord Shiva. And if one desires a good marital relation, he should worship the chaste goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna.
Hanuman is also Rudra incarnation.
Yes.
It's a hero means Hanuman. Generally people worship Hanuman for that. Okay. Gandhi Prabhu, please read.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम। There are purported by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are different modes of worship for different persons desiring success in particular subject. The living within the purview of material world cannot be a certain type of material enjoyable asset, but one can have considerable influence over a particular matter by worshipping a particular demigod, as mentioned above. Ravana was made a very powerful man by worshipping Lord Shiva, and he used to offer several heads to please Lord Shiva. He became so powerful by the grace of Lord Shiva that all the demigods were afraid of him, until he at last challenged the personality of Godhead, Sri Ramchandra, and thus ruined himself. In other words, all such persons who aspire after gaining some or all of the material objects of enjoyment, or the gross materialistic person, are on the whole less intelligent, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.20. It is said there that those who are bereft of all good senses, or those whose intelligence is withdrawn by the deluding energy of Maya, aspire to achieve all sort of material enjoyment in life by pleasing the various demigods or by advancing in material civilization under the heading of scientific progress. The real problem of life in the material world is to solve the question of birth, death, old age, and disease. No one wants to change his birthright, no one wants to meet death, no one wants to be old or invalid, and no one wants disease. But these problems are solved neither by the grace of any demigod nor by so-called advancement of material science. In the Bhagavad Gita as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, such less intelligent persons have been described as devoid of all good sense. Sukadeva Goswami said that out of the 8,484 lakhs species of living entities, the human form of life is rare and valuable. And out of those rare human beings, those who are conscious of material problems are rarer still. And the still more rare person are those who are conscious of value of Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains the message of Lord and his pure devotees. Death is inevitable for everyone, intelligent or foolish, but Parikshit Maharaj has been addressed by the Goswami as the Manicist, or the mean of higher developed mind, because at the time of death, he left all material enjoyment and completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing his message from the right person, Sukadeva Goswami. But aspirations for material enjoyment by endeavoring persons are condemned. Such aspirants or something like the intoxication of the degraded human society. Intelligent persons should try to avoid these aspirations and seek instead the permanent life by returning home back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Dharmartha uttama shlokam tantu tanvan pritrun yajet raksha kamah punyajanan ojas kamo marudganan. Dharmartha uttama shlokam tantu tanvan pritrun yajet raksha kama punyajanan ojas kamo marudganan. Dharma artha. For spiritual advancement, one should worship Uttama Shloka. Krishna, Uttama Shloka. Now, Lord's name is Uttama Shloka, one who is described by the choicest of the words. Or whatever words you use for Krishna, it becomes Uttama Shloka. Okay. Tantu Tanman. Tantu Tanvan. One who desires many descendants. Tantu. We'll just speak about Tantu. Many descendants, then they should worship Pitrus. And for their protection, yes, Tanman, for their protection also, then one should worship Pitrun. Rakshakaman, if they want protection, then they should worship Yakshas. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the whole commentary in this. They should worship Yakshas. Here directly it has been given the demigods. But which demigods? Now bifurcation has been given. And then one who desires strong senses, ojas kamaha, strong senses, and they should worship Maruts. Maruts. So Yakshas for protection, Maruts for strong senses, Pitrus for progeny, or you can say descendants. And Dharma, if he has to worship Dharma, Dharma means Lord himself. Okay. Read the verse. Samtanga Prabhu read the verse. And Venkatesh Avatar Prabhu read the purport, translation and purpose. Okay, Venkatesh Prabhu, you only read.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam. धर्मार्थ उत्तम श्लोका तंतु तन्वन पितृत्यजेत रक्षा काम पुण्यजनान नोजस कामोर मरुद्गणान. Translation. One should worship Lord Vishnu or his devotee for spiritual advancement in knowledge and for protection of heredity and advancement of dynasty. One should be worship the various demigods. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The path of religion entail making progress on the path of spiritual advancement, ultimately reviving the eternal relation with the Lord Vishnu in his impersonal effulgence, his localized Paramatma feature, the ultimately his personal feature by spiritual advancement in knowledge. And one who wants to establish a good dynasty and be happy in the progress of temporary bodily relations should take shelter of the Pitrus, Pitrus and the demigods in other pious planet. Such different classes of worshippers of different demigods may ultimately reach the respective planet of these demigods within the universe. But he who reaches the spiritual planet in the Brahma Jyoti achieves the highest perfection. Hare Krishna.
And there it starts. No? It starts from Brahma Jyoti. Those who are inclined for only Brahman religions, they'll enter Brahma Jyoti. But Brahma Jyoti is part of spiritual world. It is not a material world. Brahma Jyoti, from there it starts. Impersonal Brahman. Rajya Kamo Manundevan Nirritim Swabhicharan Yajet Kama Kamo Yajet Somam Akama Purusham Param. Rajya Kamo Manundevan Nirritim Tvabhicharan yajet, tvabhicharan yajet, kama kamo yajet somam, akamaha purusham param. If someone wants a big empire or kingdom, he should worship Manus, the semi-incarnation of God. Devan nirritim. So one who desires victory over demons. Then, 1 minute. One who desires victory over an enemy should worship demons. Acha. Okay. Devan nirritim abhicharan ejeta. So even demons can be worshipped if you want victory over an enemy. Okay. One who desires sense gratification, kamaha kamam, they should worship Somam, Chandra. That is why olden movies, they used to look at moon and sing songs. Okay. Then, akamaha purusham param, one who does not desire, one who desires nothing of material enjoyment, they should worship Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna says, akamo sarvakamo va mokshakamo dharani. Even if you have multiple desires, come to me. Akama, yes, you don't have any desire, come to me. You have so many desires, still come to me. But here what is given, you go here, you go there. Because the conditioned souls, they know, if you go to Krishna, he will remove the very desire itself. That is why they fear to go to Krishna. Even though Krishna says, akama sarvakamo va mokshakam udardi, tivrena bhakti yogena yateta purusha param. Because ultimately, even Dhruva Maharaj, he went to have a big kingdom, bigger than even his grandfather Manu. Here it is said, if you want a big kingdom, you should worship Manu. He thought, why I should worship my great-grandfather Manu? Grandfather, yes, Manu is the grandfather. Great-grandfather is Brahma. He wanted even the greater kingdom than even Brahma. So he thought, why I should worship my grandfather Manu? Let me worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that I can have more better kingdom than even Brahma, great-grandfather. But what happened? The very desire to have this desire, it also goes away. Okay. Nice verses. Bindu Mataji, read. Can you read? Yeah, read.
Rajakamo manum devan nirtrim tva abhicharan yajet kama kamo yajet somam akama purusham param. Translation: one who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. One who desires victory over an enemy should worship the demons. And one who desires sense gratification should worship the moon. But one who desires nothing.
This word nirriti, that is demons, Rakshasas. Nirriti. That is Rakshasa.
But one who desires nothing of material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: for a liberated person, all the enjoyments listed above are considered to be absolutely useless. Only those who are conditioned by the material modes of external energy are captivated by different types of material enjoyment. In other words, the transcendentalist has no material desires to be fulfilled, whereas the materialist has all types of desires to be fulfilled. The Lord has proclaimed that the materialists who desire material enjoyment and thus seek the favor of different demigods, as above mentioned, are not in control of their senses and so give themselves to nonsense. One should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment, being sensible enough to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The leaders of nonsensical persons are still more nonsensical because they preach openly and foolishly that one can worship any form of demigod and get the same result. This sort of preaching is not only against the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita or those of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but it is also foolish, just as it is foolish to claim that with the purchase of any travel ticket, one can reach the same destination. No one can reach Bombay from Delhi by purchasing a ticket for Baroda. It is clearly defined herein that persons impregnated with different desires have different modes of worship. But one who has no desire for material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. And this worshipping process is called devotional service. Pure devotional service means service to the Lord without any tinge of material desires, including desires for fruitive activity and empiric speculation. For fulfillment of material desires, one may worship the Supreme Lord, but the result of such worship is different, as will be explained in the next verse. Certainly, generally, the Lord does not fulfill anyone's material desires for sense enjoyment, but he awards such benedictions to worshippers of the Lord, for they ultimately come to the point of not desiring material enjoyment. The conclusion is that one must minimize the desires for material enjoyment, and for this, one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described herein as Param, or beyond anything material. Sripad Shankaracharya has also stated, Narayana Paro Vyakti,
Vyaktat.
Vyaktat. The Supreme Lord is beyond the material encirclement. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Now the words which we quoted, Akama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kamudarihi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajetaha Purusham Param. Akama Sarva Kamo Va. You have multiple desires. You have no desires. Go. Sarva Kamo Va. You have some total of material desires. Moksha Kama. You want liberation. Udardihi. One want. Udardihi. With broader intelligence. Tivrena. With great force, Bhakti Yogena, he should do devotional service. Yajetaha Purusham Param. Worship the Lord. If one has desires, no desires, want liberation, and to grow in devotional service, just serve Lord. Okay, Amakama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Utardihi. So here, if you see, Bhakti Yoga is stressed. That is a perfection. Akamaha refers to he wants liberation, doesn't want anything, thinking of liberation. But Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, there are karmis, there are jnanis. If you see in this verse, Sarva Kamova karmis. Akamaha, jnanis or yogis, you can say. Jnanis, you can say. Moksha Kamaha, yogis, jnanis. Again, they all come in this only category, no? But Bhakti Yoga, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, Yajetaha Purusham Param. So all four type of people, they worship Lord. Karmis, Jnanis, Yogis and Bhaktas. Out of all of them, Bhaktas are the topmost. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Surdam Sarvabhutanam. Gyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. All these four type of people can attain Shanti. The same verse is this only. Akamaha Sarvakamo Va. Mokshakamaha Udaridihi. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. Four type of people are hidden here. Akamaha. I don't have any desire. I left my house and went. Jnanis. Then Karmis. Then Mokshakamaha. They are, that is also liberation, you can say, worshipping the Paramatma. So yogis. And then Bhaktas. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwar. Understanding Krishna is Bhoktaram. Karma Phala. Enjoyer is Krishna. Jnana Phala. Austerity. One is doing austerity. Purpose is to please Krishna. Or you can say Tapasya Phala goes to Krishna only. Then Paramatma is Lord himself, not artificial Paramatma. Imagine an artificial Paramatma, no, according to the Patanjali Yoga system. No. Again, there, who is there? Krishna only. Upadrashtalu manta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara. Paramatmiti chapyukto dehasmin purushapara. I am that Paramatma, Krishna says. Bhaktas, they are fortunate enough to know, yes, vadanti tattva vidas tattvam is jnanamadvyam. Brahmeti, Paramatmiti, Bhagavan iti shabdate. All three are features of Krishna. Krishna has three features, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So in this way, they are very fortunate. So Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. Udaradihi. Anyhow, they're all considered as Udar only because they have come to Krishna. If you see Udaradihi, this word comes in, they're all Udaras. They have come to Krishna. 4 types of people come to Lord. Open 7th chapter. Who are the 4 types of people coming to Lord? Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi, Jnani, Cha, Bharatarshava. Open Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Vaibhav student, na? Now where Bhagavad Gita?
Namaduskritino murta prapadyante naradhama.
We are talking about 4 types of people coming to Krishna. Why are you talking about Naradhama Ram?
15
What?
Mataji,
sorry.
7.15.
Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna. Artho jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava.
Jnani cha bharatarshava. 7.16 speaks about it. And then Krishna says, Tesham jnani nikta yukta eka bhakti vishishyate priyohi jnani no tertham aham cha samyama priyaha is pada. But then next verse you see, Udaraha sarva eveti. Jnani tvatmaiva tmematam astitaha sahi yuktatma mamevanu tamam gati. They are all magnanimous. But who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like myself among the 4. So Lord is saying all of them are Udaradihi, Udaraha. This Udaraha word has been used there also. 7 point. What is the word? 17, no?
18.
18 Mataji.
18 it has been used. So in this way, Udaradihi, here also Udaraha has been told. Okay. Why they're Udaras? At least they have to come to Krishna for asking money. Went to Krishna, oh Lord, please give me money. Oh Lord, remove from all this Sankata. At least they're going to Krishna. So if a Jnani understands that austerity is meant for Lord, Karmis understand their phala is for Lord, then they attain peace. Yogi understands that hid meditation on Paramatma is actually for Krishna. He attains peace. Bhaktas understand that Krishna is Suhrada, Krishna's devotees are Suhrada, and they attain peace. So this verse is again for all 4 of them, understanding that Lord Purusham Param. They are going to Lord. Okay. Vrindavanila Mataji, read.
Yes. Akamah sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Purushottama, or the Supreme Personality. It is He only who can award liberation to the impersonalists by absorbing such aspirants in the Brahma Jyoti, the bodily rays of the Lord. The Brahma Jyoti is not separate from the Lord, as the glowing sun ray is not independent of the sun disk. Therefore, one who desires to merge into the Supreme Impersonal Brahma Jyoti must also worship the Lord as Bhakti Yoga, as recommended here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Yoga is specially stressed here as the means of all perfection. In the previous chapters, it has been stated that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And in the same way, in this chapter, it is emphatically declared that Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of the very different varieties of worship of the different demigods. Bhakti Yoga, thus being the supreme means of self-realization, is recommended here. Everyone must therefore seriously take up the methods of Bhakti Yoga, even though one aspires for material enjoyment or liberation from material bondage. A kama is one who has no material desire. A living being, naturally being the part and parcel of the supreme whole, Purusham Purnam, has as his natural function to serve the supreme being, just as the parts and parcels of the body or the limbs of the body are naturally meant to serve the complete body. Desireless means, therefore, not to be inert like the stone, but to be conscious of one's actual position and thus desire satisfaction only from the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this desirelessness as Bhajaniya Parama Purusha Sukha Matra Swasukhatvam in his Sandarbha. This means that one should feel happy only by experiencing the happiness of the Supreme Lord. This intuition of the living being is sometimes manifested even during the conditioned stage of a living being in the material world, and such intuition is expressed in the manner of altruism, philanthropy, socialism, communism, etc., by the undeveloped minds of less intelligent persons. In the mundane fields, such as outlook of doing good to others in the form of society, community, family, country, or humanity is a partial manifestation of the same original feeling in which a pure living entity feels happiness by the happiness of the Supreme Lord. Such super feelings were exhibited by the damsels of Rajabhumi for the happiness of the Lord. The gopis loved the Lord without any return, and this is the perfect exhibition of the akamaha spirit. Calm spirit, or the desire for one's own satisfaction, is fully exhibited in the material world, whereas the spirit of akama is fully exhibited in the spiritual world. Thoughts of becoming one with the Lord or being merged in the Brahmjyoti can also be exhibitions of calm spirit if they are desires for one's own satisfaction to be free from the material miseries. A pure devotee does not want liberation so that he may be relieved from the miseries of life. Even without so-called liberation, a pure devotee is aspirant for the satisfaction of the Lord. Influenced by the calm spirit, Arjun declined to fight in the Kurukshetra battlefield because he wanted to save his relatives for his own satisfaction. But being a pure devotee, he agreed to fight on the instruction of the Lord because he came to his senses and realized that satisfaction of the Lord at the cost of his own satisfaction was his prime duty. Thus, he became a calm. That is a perfect stage of a perfect living being. Udaradhi means one who has a broader outlook. People with desires for material enjoyment worship small demigods, and such intelligence is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 7.20 as Hitagyana, the intelligence of one who has lost his senses. One cannot obtain any result from demigods without getting sanction from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, a person with a broader outlook can see that the ultimate authority is the Lord, even for material benefits. Under the circumstances, one with a broader outlook, even with the desire for material enjoyment or for liberation, should take to the worship of the Lord directly. And everyone, whether an akama or sakama or mokshakama, should worship the Lord with great experience. This implies that bhakti yoga may be perfectly administered without any mixture of karma and jnana. As the unmixed sun ray is very forceful, and is therefore called tivra. Similarly, unmixed bhakti yoga of hearing, chanting, etc. may be performed by one and all regardless of inner motive. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a beautiful commentary in this. He says, Akamaha refers to pure devotees, okay? According to Sridhar Swami. Akamaha refers to pure devotees. Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbha says, Akama means a person whose only happiness is in the happiness of the Lord. It is not no desires. It is desire to serve Krishna's desire. That's why Gopi's example is given in Akama. When a person doesn't know this, then he becomes a normal jnani. He may say, oh, I have given up all the desires of all this samsara. I don't want to suffer in this samsara. Because his desire is to go to Brahman effulgence. It is said here, even that desire to cut this samsara, to experience the happiness of Brahman is more greater than the karmis who try to destroy the temporary suffering and are thinking of going to Swarga. Whose desire is more? It is Jnanis and the yogis. They want to go to Brahman. They want liberation. The thought of liberation itself, that is why Bhukti Mukti Spruhayavad. If you remember Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, very clearly it has been said, they are Pishachis only. Bhukti is also Pishachi, Mukti is also Pishachi. Bhukti at the level of Karmis. They want to destroy the temporary suffering, want to go to Swarga. Mukti, they want to completely destroy the suffering of this samsara, go to Brahman effulgence. There also it is Mukti, but it is Pishachi only. Because service to the Supreme Lord is not involved. That is why it is said, the devotees who are engaged only in giving happiness to the Lord, then that is Akamaha, a real Akamaha. And Sarvakama, yes, he has all the desires to take everything and serve Krishna. It is not the desire to enjoy, desire to serve. Moksha Kama Udardihi. They know the real meaning of moksha. Mukti hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajita parapurusha para. You can take this verse in this way also. If you start from a pure devotee, he knows what is the real meaning of mukti. He also knows what should be the only desire. The only desire is to serve Krishna. And if you see if you take this verse for Udaradihi, magnanimous people, they can be Jnanis, then Karmis. But Karmis at least came for asking everything. But they don't know how to utilize. That is the problem. They're asking everything, but at least they have come to Krishna. Karmis, Jnanis, then Yogis. At least they have come to Lord. They are asking Lord. And then Bhakta. That is why 4 type of people have been spoken. Okay. Last verse. Let me see. Till 12 we can take. Because till 12 is one section. Or we'll take questions because this also purpose is like tomorrow we can do. So any questions you can ask.
Mataji, this word udar, it has been described as generous.
Generous.
In Bhagavad Gita. And here it is described as a person with a higher understanding or a broader understanding.
Magnanimous.
Yes. So magnanimous more or less refers to generous only.
Generous.
So how do we understand here, Mataji? Like I'm finding it a little confusing here.
One
Akama.
is Akama, magnanimous. There are Udaras. Udaras means broader outlook.
Yes.
Broader outlook. That is why here it has been given. That if a person is only thinking of going to Swarga, in narrow outlook, broader outlook, let me go to Brahman effulgence. But that is also considered as a bigger desire.
Yes.
That is a very bigger desire. Where worship of Lord has not been spoken. That is why there again they come back. So now your question is why it has been said here magnanimous or broader.
Yes. Yes.
At least they've come to Krishna. They don't have a narrow outlook. Like, let us take an example. Okay. You want some material benefit or you want some benefit from an office. Where you'll go? You'll go to an authority. You'll go to an authority. That is broader outlook. Or narrow is what? From narrow passage. Going to smaller. You have narrow passages. इसको थोड़ा पैसा खिलाओ, उसको थोड़ा पैसा खिलाओ. You are going directly to an authority. That is broader outlook. Yes. Understanding that Krishna has all the capacity to fulfill our desire. That is known as broader intelligence. Narrow intelligence is, I don't know whether Krishna will do or not, let me go to demigods. Having a doubt. That is narrow mind. Already we say, na? आपका narrow mind, come out of the narrow mind. Doubt,
Yes.
samshaya buddhi, that is narrow mind. Broader mind, yes, Krishna is there. So whoever worships Krishna, he finds the way. He will give the way. A Katyayani Vrata was done by
Yes.
gopis with a broader understanding. Yes, Durga ji is sister of Krishna. Broader understanding. There's a lot of difference. Not that one is discarding the demigods. One worships the demigod. After 2 verses, it is going to come. One worships the demigods to get devotional service. And that can happen only when he comes in contact with devotee. That is why worshipping demigod should be done in contact with the devotee. Then he will understand the perfect position of every demigod with respect to Krishna. Brahma Samhita speaks about 5 principal demigods, including Mahadev. So
Yes.
you are not worshipping Mahadev to get some lot of semen, to have lot of enjoyment with women. It has been given. No, you are worshipping Mahadev to get bhakti. Yesterday we went to Trimbakeshwar. Very beautifully, Mrityunjay Stotra says, very clear it is said. I'll read out and show it. The meaning of Mrityunjay Stotra is also so wonderful. Wait, I'll just read.
त्र्यंबकम यजामहे ना
ओम
त्र्यंबकम
त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकिम इव बंधनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. The meaning goes like this: O Trambakeshwara, you are 3-eyed person. Let me be of senses to you. Sugandhi Pushti Vardhanam, for getting devotion. Just like how the fruit comes out of the tree, in the same way, relieve me from the samsara of birth and death cycle by giving bhakti. So if a devotee understands this, he will chant this for getting relief from birth and death cycle.
Yes.
The relief from birth and death cycle, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is even if you're giving me birth, mama janmani ishware bhavatat bhakti ahaitukita. So devotee, when he is asking, there he is asking ahaituki service to Krishna, which is beyond birth and death.
Yes.
So they are all udaradi, broader understanding. Broader understanding of the demigods with respect to Krishna. Now, this can be explained to a great extent. Broader, generally we see, oh, some Havan is going on immediately. What is this? We are all worshippers of Krishna. Why we are worshipping demigods? We actually sometimes ninda. We should not do that.
Very true.
We should see the demigods in connection with Krishna. Then that is udaradihi. Then he is not asking the benefit for himself. He is asking the benefit so that he can serve Krishna very nicely. A devotee, if he is asking good health, he is asking good health to serve Krishna nicely.
Right.
So there is no harm asking good health. And for that, if a recommendation is given, also you have to worship Durga ji. So why is he worshipping good Durga ji? So that he gets good health to serve Krishna, not for sense enjoyment.
Mataji, one more connected question. Like here, Udaradhi has been used for 3 categories of worshippers. But when it comes to Bhakta, a devotee, it has not been used. Any particular reason for that?
It has been used, na?
Like here it says, Akama Sarva Kamova Moksha Kam Udaradhi. So,
They
Tivrena
are all
Bhakti
great, they
Yogena,
are all magnanimous.
all four. It
No,
applies to
they are all magnanimous.
Hmm.
Akamo sarva kamama moksha kama udardi.
Udaradhi.
Bhaktas anyhow they are udardi.
Okay.
When they come to the personification of Udaras,
Okay.
then they also become Udaradihi. Dihi means intelligent. Udara means broader intelligence. Bhaktas anyhow are intelligent. Intelligence lies in worshipping Krishna. Already it has been spoken. Intelligence lies in worshipping Krishna. So these three people, these three categories, when they come in contact with intelligent person, naturally will become Udaradihi. Now this meaning also can be put in this. These words can be translated in different ways
Yes.
or explained in different ways.
Very true.
Lot of explanation can be given. Okay.
But why to confuse Mataji with all this? Like when right in the beginning it says no, all other religions have been kicked out. Then why to bring this and confuse?
Everybody cannot worship Krishna. No? There are tamas, there is rajas, there is sato. So those who are influenced by tamas and rajas, they have different worshippers. Already Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita. But use tamasic way of worship also to worship Krishna. Use tamas, use rajas. Tamasic people, they worship ghosts, they worship pishachis. The Rajasic Christian worships the demigods. Use everyone in serving Krishna.
Yes,
Now Adityas, 12 Adityas, Aditys, the sons, they were worshipped to give heed to Krishna. Now Krishna is the source of all the demigods. But here Krishna wants to show that the gopis, they always think of how to serve Krishna the best. So they are using everyone. Just see now. Generally, we get an allergy. Na? The moment we think about the demigods, there's an allergy.
No, Mataji, I'm not.
No. There is an
Why?
allergy in certain, you can say, not broader.
Like when I see it in the context, like when we in the opening verses, Mataji, of Canto, first Canto itself, where it says Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmat
Yes,
Saranam.
that is Kaitava Dharma, where you are keeping yourself in center.
Okay.
This is not Kaitava Dharma. Worshipping demigod is not a Kaitava Dharma. Intention behind demigod worship. Intention is sense gratification, Kaitava Dharma. Intention is to serve Krishna the best. Then it's not Kaitava Dharma. There
I was thinking like
Sarvadharman Parityaja.
like Dharma, Artha,
Sarvadharma.
Kama, Moksha we were talking about. So I was thinking maybe it is connected to that. So,
No, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha should lead to Panchava Purushartha.
yes.
That is Bhakti.
So many layers are coming, Mataji. Layers after layers. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, anyone else? So tomorrow we'll meet. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
We'll try to finish by Thursday. You know, few verses are only there. Try to.
Only 25 verses are there, Mataji, हो जाएगा.
Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavi Vaishnavi Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad.